So what was going to happen is the clip might come in a little intense. So if
Okay.
that's a little loud in your ear, I'm sorry.
When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
They do want you to take their roles. And this week, I am dad number one. Of this, I am sure. And joining me on the other end of the virtual mic, we have.
Dad number 2, Tyler.
And Tyler, are you alone there in the void?
I am not, but someone is not wanting to be on camera right now, so
Oh,
we are
that's perfectly
respecting
fine.
that. Although
Perfectly
I
fine.
believe she looks beautiful and looks amazing and is camera ready, but someone's tired but has thoughts on Corey Matthews and would like to share some of them. Okay, so we were watching this the other day, and someone kept making snide comments about certain curly head boy.
He's the worst.
Can you describe that for us?
I don't know if it's just his senior year as a whole, but I just cannot stand Corey Matthews like his entire senior year. None of it. I think I only like 2 episodes.
So, what about this episode in particular?
He's so whiny and he all of a sudden pretends like he's like this macho man, like misogynistic, whenever like literally he acts like that no other times except for this whole senior year.
It's fair.
And then everybody else in this uh episode is all like, oh no, we can't do this, like, oh no, we're manly men. Where have you guys been literally the rest of the show? Because I lost my headphone.
It's okay. So to sum up what I'm hearing as a man, as I trying to listen to you, my wife, and so I'm understanding, is they're acting kind of out of character, and it's a little annoying because
Yes,
instead
but
of
they're
them,
also acting like the worst versions of men, like manly men, patriarchy, men are
Mhm.
the best, they're in charge. No.
Now, I will say, how did you feel that the other gentleman besides Corey acted this episode? Like, how did you feel Alan was reacting and behaving?
Poorly.
Okay. What about Feeney?
Also poorly.
Yeah, surprisingly poorly.
Surprisingly poorly. He's smart. He was married for how long before his wife died? And he doesn't pick up on the subtle cues.
Yeah. Now,
The only person, the only male in this episode that's redeeming, Eric.
that's what I'm going to get to. How did you feel Eric was this episode?
Because Eric knows that men are idiots. Men are big idiots. And the only one that can accept that.
Hmm. That's fair. Now, I will say it is funny to me that all of the guys kept coming to Eric with their troubles. And it's like, why is Eric the one who's trying to help everybody and understands how to help everyone in their relationship?
Because Eric went through this misogynistic phase in high school. And he's grown, where apparently everyone else regressed, including Mr. Feeney and Alan.
I mean, Mr. Feeney is still in high school.
I mean, he teaches high school, but he's an adult.
It's a joke in the episode. It's okay.
You're hilarious.
Now, in fairness, though, how do you feel like the women acted in said episode as
I
well?
just think this whole episode is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they're all like dramatically, we want to go dancing. Why won't you go dancing with us? And then they're all sad because their men aren't going dancing with them. It's just annoying. dating. I hate this whole episode.
Yeah.
Now, I will ask you, as you
I
are.
wouldn't even rewatch it with you tonight.
I know you desperately did not want to rewatch it.
You started it, and then you went to go re-put baby to bed, who woke up, and I said I need the remote so I can watch Parks and Rec because I didn't want to finish watching it.
So I guess I will ask you, if you and I were, when we were dating, if you were to say to me, I'm sick, some soup would be nice, and I said to you, soup would be nice, but then instead of bringing you soup, I just went bowling. Would we have gotten married?
I probably would have told you were a moron.
Okay.
I mean, we could have probably still been married, but I would have just said, "Hey, idiot!
Uh-huh.
I meant for you to bring me soup."
Uh-huh. And if you maybe strolled by where I lived and talking about poetry and how you'd love to read some of your poetry, I didn't catch on to the fact that that's you inviting me on a little coffee date. Would you still keep trying to pursue me?
I'm more of a blunt person, and I
I know
don't
you are.
know.
That's one of the reasons I love you. I have to brag for a second. I know you don't like it, but good looking people, I have an incredible wife because we had some friends that were making things kind of wishy washy before we started dating. And Sarah was like, I don't want any of that. I'm cutting through all the bull crap. I just want answers. I'm getting my answers.
And I told you, and I quote, "You give the worst mixed signals ever."
Do you see the show I grew up on?
I know.
And who I relate to the most?
And you wonder why I hate this episode. Because it's also the women, because you know what? I don't put up with that. I just say, if you don't get what I'm laying down, I'm just going to tell you.
That's fair. I feel like Brett and the good-looking people are getting a really good insight into our marriage of
I don't have
nonsense.
time for that.
Now, okay, do you feel like they kind of at least made up a little bit for the way they were acting this episode by humiliating themselves and confidently dancing, actively dancing with their women?
I don't. This is the problem with they made up for it. Making up for it and apologies aren't just words or one action. It is a continuation of showing the person that you're growing and you're trying to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say they made up for it because one, we never see the woman that George Feeney is with ever again.
It's very true what happened to her.
Yeah, she's never there again.
Yeah. And no, the boys don't grow because they're seniors in high school and they're morons. Like, that's what teenage boys are. But, like, so it's a funny plot point, but no, I don't think they truly made up for it. And also, Topanga and Angela never have these jobs ever again.
That's very true.
It is a single episode plot point. And the Sean and Corey having to go to the gym.
This is the first time they really talk about the gym, and it's a little upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Brett. I feel like this is the start of our episode, not the end. We're hitting a lot of things hard and heavy.
I think so. I think we will plug it in at the beginning.
So,
just have a list of all my complaints about this.
Everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The problem is the patriarchy.
You know, that's beginning to be
my problem with this show.
It's really true. Sometimes the patriarchy is really hard and heavy in this show, and you are not a fan of that.
No. Not.
Could you say this is one of the episodes that the boys are trying to just be boys, and that is not okay?
Yeah, they're definitely being they're being teenage boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure as a child when I watched the show it was funny, but as an adult, this episode is just annoying.
That's fair. Um, you do have to admit when Alan is on the roof and Eric takes the ladder away, and then Alan's yelling at him. And his response is just "What?" That's pretty funny.
I genuinely don't remember it.
That's okay. I do. That's all that matters. So,
I think I block out most of this episode.
so what grade would you give this episode if you were to grade it?
It's an F.
Wow.
What's the other episode that I really don't like that you guys just did?
How to Succeed in Business.
Oh
Yeah, we didn't like that one either.
yeah. I think it's all of Corey's senior year. I don't.
Well, you're not a huge fan of the whole Corey,
And
Lauren, you know.
Yeah.
And Will Topanga take him back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like his entire senior year.
Would you say you're more of a first to fourth season girl for Boy Meets World?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the college years, but I feel
It's
like
the struggle of a fifth season that gets
yeah.
you.
It's not a doesn't sit well.
Understandable. It will be interesting, Brett, when we actually go through and we understand our ranking for this season of how it compares to the previous.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. So,
And
do you have any last thoughts, my love, or are you ready to go to bed?
Nope.
Okay.
This episode sucks.
And Sarah, I showed Kelly the hot stuff dance at the end. She had no memory of this episode at all. I explained to her the plot from it. She had no clue. I showed her the hot stuff dance. No clue at all. No memory.
Maybe that's
how
why we didn't get
impactful
people
it was
to
on her.
leave reviews, because no one remembered the hot stuff dance.
Yeah.
Oh, and just so you know, Abby told me what her grade for this one would be as well.
Oh, yeah?
It's an F.
Wow.
That's right.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm not looking for a high five. Get your piece and go to bed.
Well, good looking people. We are looking at episode 10 of season 5 here this week. Last Tango in Philly, wherein Corey and Sean are... I do not write these synopses. I pull them from a combination of IMDb and Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't write these. I'll pick the better of the two. Here's what it is. Corey and Sean are loco with jealousy, and when the girls get jobs at a Mexican restaurant and start dancing the night away with two handsome, suave co-workers. Soon they, along with Alan, Eric, Jack, and Mr. Feeney, try to figure out the hidden meaning behind women's words. This episode was written by Jeff Manel, directed by Alan Meyerson, originally aired on December 5th, 1997, and currently enjoys an IMDb rating of 7.7. So, Tyler, our previous episode last week enjoyed an 11.55. Just over 11.5 million viewers tuned in for the last episode of November Sweeps. And this is the week before our big Christmas episode hits the airwaves. What do you think the last Tango in Philly gets?
I'm thinking we maintain that 11.
Yeah. Well, you would get the Price is Right showcase. We hit a 12.16 million.
All right.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about misogyny. We're going to start with Sean and Corey stocking up on some free tortilla chips at this redressed Chubby's restaurant.
Oh my gosh. This is the most redressed Chubbies ever.
And because apparently Senorita Los Waitresses are Topanga and Angela both got jobs at this Mexican restaurant. And Topanga's Ramona, by the way. I don't think we ever got Angela's Spanish restaurant name,
I
which we
mean,
do hear later is Coyote.
it
But
should just be Angela because that's the
Angela,
Spanish
yeah,
name.
yeah, Topanga's definitely not a Spanish name, but Angela could be her Spanish name. But
Yes.
yeah, Corey and Sean are apparently on the girls' first day at work. They're doing their obnoxious customer routine to break the girls in.
Mm-hmm.
I would. Oh, if the girls have any reason to really hate their boyfriends this episode, it is completely warranted.
Yeah. No, there's no justification for obnoxious customer routine in any regard. Um,
No.
yeah, I've seen that go way too horrible for way too many individuals, and it's inappropriate and should not be there.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I'm going to say this right up front, good looking people. This episode is peak 1990s episodic television where we have completely lost the plot of continuity, of character development. This is we have 24 episodes to fill this season. We just need a story to throw at the wall to get some jokes out and to fill 22 minutes.
this
Let's
is
take
a
our
filler
character.
episode.
Yeah, this is this in when we had before the days of streaming and prestige TV, there were things called filler episodes. Some series did them really well, where they would do like a character exploration piece where you had like a big cast and you focus on one or two characters and you do like a small story where you could focus on them exploring their character.
Yeah.
Other shows opted to do just let's go throw everything against the wall, just go big and go crazy. Boy Meets World tended to be the let's go crazy because it's a sitcom aimed at teenagers. There you
Yep.
go. It's the House of Mouse. It's Michael Jacobs. This is one of those episodes. This is a filler
Yeah.
episode that in the grand scheme of things in 7 years, this episode has absolutely no bearing on anything in 7 years. You could jettison this episode from the series and you would lose absolutely nothing from it. So this episode, view it in a bottle.
You would lose out on memes of Feeny dancing.
Okay, that you would lose out. I did forget that. Yes. Okay. You would
Hey,
lose that. The gif of
did you
of Feeny
catch
dancing.
the continuity error, by the way?
Which one?
Well, whenever Angela goes, and this is a salsa for your chips, if you look at the backpack, you can see it's clearly has salsa already like spilt on it. Like there's like a folder in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so either
This is clearly
they've
not
done
the
this
first take.
right, multiple times, or it's just dried salsa and they never thought to get a different backpack for it.
Yeah. I don't think a continuity I don't remember the exact term, the exact title. I don't really believe a continuity manager was all that big for Michael Jacobs. We've picked up a lot of those.
I know what you're talking about. Hold on.
Yeah. Script supervisor.
Script supervisor.
There it
you.
is. Yeah.
I was like, I know we have it. It's not continuity, but that's what they do. It should be continuity.
Their job is to make sure that everything runs the way it's supposed to from one shot to the next. That if they're going this, that it runs from this to this. Yes, I don't know that they even had one on the show. If they did, they weren't the greatest because we've caught a lot of them. But yes, I did catch that one. Yeah. But the girls want to go dancing after work, because the boys, to their credit, they want to take them out to celebrate after their first day of work.
No, they want the girls to take them out.
Oh, yes, okay. So half credit, they want to do something with them after work, but they want the girls to take them out.
Right. The girls want to go dancing.
Probably because the boys don't have jobs, but The girls want to go dancing. You know, the
But
rest of
do
this,
they? Don't they? I don't know, Brett. We never get an answer.
which, by the way, how many staff members are there at this restaurant?
4.
4. And I'll get into why I think there's only 4 later. And it's not just because they only had the money to hire 4 for the show. But the girls want to go dancing with the staff after work. To which the answer is puh.
Puh.
Puh. Sean doesn't want to go to dancing. Corey decides to get all masculine. They're going to go to the gym, pump some iron, sweat, and I quote Corey, get the girls used to disappointment. This is not the Corey and Sean that we saw 2 episodes ago, where Sean really wanted what Corey has. Where Sean was yearning for Angela and wanted to do everything to make her happy. Where Corey was his example for an ideal relationship. This is, well, as Sarah said, this is misogyny. Pure and simple. This is get them used to being disappointed by us because we're the best they're going to get and they can't find better. So get them used to it.
It feels like he's reverted back to the first season where his only goal was to make the audience laugh.
Yeah. This is, it's not a good look for Corey. It's not a good look for Sean. Now, to the writer's credit, to Sean's credit, Sean is very much still looking to Corey for guidance. He isn't sure that these ideas Corey's coming up with are great ideas. He wants to support Angela. He wants to go along with Angela, but he's still trusting Corey to fly that plane. But not a good pilot, Corey, this episode.
Yeah.
And so enter Sergio and Nunzio, who are, I have to say, Nunzio is one of my favorite guests of the series. Across 7 years, Nunzio is one of my favorites for a couple of reasons.
Brett,
one, yes.
Is he Italian?
The character
he
or the
feels
actor?
Italian.
Yeah, Nunzio is well, here's the deal. Nunzio is played by the actor Jonathan Del Arco. This is the only time we see Jonathan here on Boy Meets World. And I am bringing up a different browser here because I have an incorrect piece of information here in his line that I know of for certain, and I want to make sure that I don't have anything else incorrect here. But Jonathan is, there are some other projects he's in that I am a fan of his. And so I am a fan of Nunzio because he is just so out there. He is just completely full of himself. He speaks in the third person, and he has perhaps my favorite runner from the series. Of this, I am sure. I don't know why, but that one just stuck with me, and it's one of my favorite things to just throw out there. And yeah, but Jonathan, like I said, he's been in some other stuff that I've really been impressed by him in, and I just love what I've seen. He's a phenomenal actor, and he's got a great story of his life in Hollywood. If you ever get a chance, Good Looking People, look him up. He's got some great stories to tell. But he has 42 acting credits on his resume, including shows like Miami Vice, The Wonder Years, Star Trek The Next Generation, Blossom, Pacific Blue, Star Trek Voyager, The Division, 24, The Sopranos, Dollhouse, The Closer, High Crimes, Star Trek Picard, Criminal Minds, and more. And Sergio, who I don't think he even speaks. I don't think we get to hear him speak. Now that I think about it, he's actually
Nothing
uncredited in
intense.
the episode.
Really?
He's uncredited. I had to dig. I mean, he's in IMDb, but the episode itself did not give him credit, so they had to
Hmm.
retroactively find him. Matt Cedeno, first and only time on Boy Meets World, 44 acting credits on his resume, including Days of Our Lives, CSI Miami, That 70s Show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Psych, Desperate Housewives, Z Nation, Mom, and most recently, 100 episodes of Tyler Perry's Ruthless on BET.
Huh.
Yeah. So, Tyler, what do you think of Sergio and Nunzio and all of their zippers on their pants?
Well, everything about Nunzio screams suave Italian guy, and I feel like he is going to give me pasta, not Mexican food. And Sergio is just this big, uh, very handsome but quiet man. So very interesting. I like
Yeah.
them both. That's for sure. They're fun.
Oh, they are fun, yes. They're very confident in themselves. At least, I assume Sergio is confident in himself.
I would say secure.
Yes, that's a good word for it.
Hmm.
Secure in who they are. Yeah. Um. So yeah, we get to meet them, and then we're out of the teaser, and we come back for Act 1, where Corey and Sean are at school, and they apparently did go out to the gym, and
Hmm.
they're hurting from it. Corey has to help Sean with his jacket. Sean doesn't trust anyone with that many zippers on their pants. And Corey is just not the guy to trust when getting advice about being a guy, I noted here.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
say though, it's clear that Corey and Sean don't normally go to the gym and work out. As someone who used to spend a lot of time in a weight room, I will tell you that the first day, the first week is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Because for those that don't know, when you are working out, specifically lifting weight, you are breaking the muscle you have.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then afterwards in the recovery, that's how your muscles get bigger and stronger. That's why people normally do like uh, protein shakes, protein bars, high carb, high protein diets.
Raw
They're
eggs.
supposed to, yeah, they're supposed to get a lot of sleep so that way their body can rebuild itself and get bigger. Um, so when two people that don't normally work out try to go and work out, A, they're not going in with an actual like workout plan, and B, they probably are doing things wrong. And C, even if they're doing things right, if you're trying to lift things, it's going to hurt the next day.
Oh, yeah. So it totally makes sense that they're in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the girls come into frame, and we get our first clip of the episode.
Hey, guys.
What happened last night? You see what I did there?
Nothing happened. We danced.
I am a little tired.
Oh, you got a problem.
Boy, that Nunzio sure knows how to move, huh?
Oh, I got a problem too.
Sergio's no slouch on the dance floor either.
I didn't ask.
Why, Topanga? I think they're jealous.
I am not jealous, okay? Did he touch you?
Sergio or Nunzio?
What difference does it make? Angela, you were out with other guys, dancing and sweating, and what is with all those zippers?
We asked you to come along.
Yes, and I believe your words were, pa.
Possibly.
We like to dance. Our friends from work like to dance. We did nothing wrong.
Now, Brett, I will say, if Sean and Corey had communicated properly to the girls, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you going with other men to go dancing. Probably would go better than just to go, puh.
Yeah, communicating their feelings would have gone a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that the girls wouldn't have gone dancing, but at least they would have understood where their boyfriends stood, knowing that their boyfriends didn't want to go dancing.
Yeah. Now, Brett, are we also assuming that this is a 18 and older dance club that they're going to, and the girls are both 18 now?
I was a little unsure of that myself, and it's in my notes later on too, because they're going to a club called the Boom Boom Room, and we get an establishing shot of it outside. It kind of looks like it's in a run down warehouse on the outside. Everyone there looks to be at least 18 or older. They're in their senior year. They were at least 16 uh, in 11th grade. We could assume they're 17 or at least or 18 or at least close enough to 18 that they could sneak in with help. So I'd say it's an 18 and older club.
Yeah.
Now, good looking people, full disclosure, I don't think I've ever been to a dance club. I'm not a dancer. I don't have Nunzio's moves. I probably have Topanga's moves where she's just like this. You know, where she's sad missing Corey. Okay, I have more moves than that, but
And that your happy dances to sad dance.
okay, admittedly, I have more moves than that. Okay, but I've never really. I'm not a clubbing person. I've never. I don't think I'd say puh, but I wouldn't. That's not my first choice. I'd ever go to. I wouldn't go out to the boom boom room. Now, if Kelly asked me to, and we were younger, I would have gone out with her, but it's not something I would have chosen.
Now, the question is, Brett, if you're at a wedding and there's a dance floor, do you go on the dance floor with your wife?
Oh yeah, yeah. I always did that. Yeah, we went to a lot of
Ha!
weddings.
Lie! You did not at my wedding because you were sick. You liar.
Okay, with the caveat of when I'm not sick. Okay, I was also sick at another wedding where I didn't, but
I just remember
when
your
I'm
wife
healthy,
saying to me, "Oh my gosh, Brett's so sick, but he said I have to be here, and he's here." And then when you guys are getting ready to leave, she came up to me. She goes, "I'm so sorry, but Brett is just he doesn't got anything left in him." I said, "It's okay."
when I'm healthy, yes, I do go out on the dance floor. Yeah,
I did
I
not
can
even
cut
mean
the
to do a
rope.
gotcha there, by the way. It was not my plan.
Ah, yes, sure.
Pah!
Puh. Yeah, but Sean and Corey are not going to go dancing next time. They're going to go to the gym so they can beat the zippers off Sergio and Nunzio.
But also,
And
Corey comes off so aggressive to Topanga for no reason.
yeah, he's just. I don't like Corey this episode. He is.
No.
He somewhere in my notes here, I have that this is just every negative stereotype of masculinity rolled into one. And
Yeah.
I don't enjoy those. I don't enjoy watching shows that feature so heavily on that. I never have.
Yeah. I mean, this is Corey being insecure and fully unwilling to communicate his emotions. Like,
Yeah.
we have seen in this show that Corey and Topanga have a great relationship when they communicate. And when Corey does not communicate his feelings is when the two of them struggle. Because Topanga will communicate her feelings, but if Corey doesn't reciprocate that, because he's young and in high school and dumb, it doesn't make sense.
And Dave's having troubles here.
Mhm.
So they're going to show up at the restaurant to beat up Sergio and Nunzio.
Yes, because after 2 days of working out, they clearly have the strength to beat him up.
I will say, Jealous Sean is quite amusing.
Yes, Jealous Sean is hilarious. Because this is, again, a Sean who's trying to maintain his relationship, not disappoint Corey, not disappoint Angela, and doesn't know how to be secure in his relationship yet.
Yes, Sean is all over the place, and it's honestly, as much as I dislike the whole let's take every negative masculine stereotype and turn up to 11, Sean's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Sean is the real comedic relief here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna bring up a clip where Nunzio, it shows a little bit of maturity here, a little bit of sarcastic maturity, I'll call it.
Yes, you are Sean, the one who belittles the art of the dance.
We could take you.
And don't tell me, you are Cory, the luckiest man alive, for you are dating Topanga, who's as beautiful as a flower. No, not a flower. A garden full of beautiful flowers.
Your words are beautiful.
Gracias. And because you are special to Topanga and Angela, you are special to Nuncio. I give you a special table. And please don't order off the children's menu anymore.
I love that line.
I do. Now, in this brief interaction with Nunzio, he manages to indicate to the guys that the girls do talk about their boyfriends. So he is fully aware that girls are dating, that they talk about them enough to know that they have some problems with what's going on, that he is very aware of how attractive Topanga is.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very quick to undercut and infantilize the boys by pointing out that he knows they order off the children's menu.
Mm-hmm.
All while he is being very, very flattering in that very politician way. Because you are friends of, because you are special to the girls, you are special to me. I will give you a special table. It's just, he manages to hit all the right notes in that very brief interaction where he shows them, I know who you are. I know things are not perfect. I know just how nice the ladies are. And I know you have problems.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do love how he sets them right at the same table they were sitting at the first scene, too. Very special table.
Oh, it's a very special table. Yeah. On what happens to be the busiest night of the week, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know everything when it comes to the restaurant industry because I never really was in it. What I do know is if you are not there for their business, restaurants don't have time for your nonsense. So if it is rush time, if it is their most busiest night, you're not there to socialize. The people are working so hard at those times, and you need to either get out of their way or pay them more money.
Yeah, and I that's very true. I have worked in food service, and the only way I can make it work, even in the heightened reality of Boy Meets World, Nunzio has to be at management level, especially since it's him on the recording on the answering machine later on. That also makes me wonder just how old Nunzio is, because he's not a student at their school, and there are other schools in Philly, but at management level, he can't necessarily be a high school student because he would at best be a swing manager.
Mm-hmm.
And there are only certain things as a high schooler he could be entrusted with based on labor laws.
Mhm.
So I'm a little confused as to what his role really is that he could do all of this. But episode's got an episode somehow here.
I mean, I took it as they're both college age, and whether they're in school or not,
Hmm.
they one of them, their parents probably own the restaurant itself, and they run it
Makes
together in the
sense.
evenings. So,
Yeah. So you're saying an Italian guy and his son run the Mexican restaurant?
listen, I'm not saying that Nunzio is for sure Italian. He presents more Italian to me than he does Spanish. Is all I was attempting to say. But yeah,
I'm just messing with you.
Nunzio's parents they own the restaurant and they run it like during the day, and then in the evening time, like so he learns responsibility of the business. He manages it, so he's like
Hmm.
the nighttime manager. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. It'd be a great place to do work study, maybe.
Perfect place to do a work study.
I can buy that. So let's check in on Amy and Alan because Alan gets a satellite TV.
Okay, this storyline of Alan, Feeney, Eric all happening at the same time. That is my favorite part of the episode.
I will say yes, because A, it's very relatable.
Hmm.
B, that's all I need.
Hmm.
It's very simple. It's not over dramatic. It's not ridiculous. It's a very real life situation. Alan has shown a penchant for going overboard with technology. I mean, he bought Amy a garbage disposal
Hmm.
when he really was just she didn't want it. He thought she did. There we go.
Hmm.
Alan gets I mean, he's bought a hot tub before. That's his type of thing. Well, the jetted tub that they put in upstairs for him.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Amy.
I was like, hot
Yeah,
tub. What are you talking? Yes, the
I think I
jetted
should
tub.
have said whirlpool. But anyway, so Alan getting a satellite dish makes perfect sense. And Alan putting it up himself. My parents got a satellite dish at one time from DirecTV back in the days when you could either have them install it or install it yourself. I remember helping my dad install. I remember crawling up on a very, very sharply peaked house in December to knock the snow off of it to get better reception. It's
Hmm.
not fun to do that when the snow is covering the roof.
Yeah.
Looking back is not fun. Back then it was kind of fun. But I can see Alan doing this. I like that. I can see Amy getting frustrated because Alan is gung ho because it's new, it's fun. There's 900 channels.
Yeah.
This was a
Well,
big thing in the 90s.
I also can't help but imagine that like Alan had been waiting for this to do this, and his
Mm-hmm.
hope was to do it before Saturday evening. But by the time it all went down, this is when he's able to do it. And so for Amy to be upset is A, reasonable, and
Mm-hmm.
B, two of them are trying to communicate with one another.
Yes. And
Amy's trying to communicate, I want to spend time with you. And Alan's trying to communicate, if I do this, then we can spend all the time together.
exactly. We can watch a movie on here. Look, if I do this, we can really focus together. We can hang out. We can do all kinds of cool stuff together right here in the house,
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I will say that what Amy is wanting to do is to do something with him.
Mm-hmm.
However, Amy knows that if he starts the TV, he'll start TV hopping, channel hopping, and then it's not about them spending time together. It's just about him playing
Mm-hmm.
with his television.
Yeah.
Those are
So,
the fun married things
oh yeah.
after you've been together so long. That's what's happening right now.
Very real, very relatable. Catherine walking by, kind of odd she's walking in the side yard between the two houses, but okay, we got to get her there
But okay,
somehow.
but they established this direction is the driveway.
Yeah. I mean, she's a little close to the houses, I'll say, but you know what? We got to get her there.
Yeah.
Just, and you know what? She wants to see Feeney. Okay. Catherine, played by Sue Casey. First and only time we'll see her in Boy Meets World. 96 acting credits on her resume. including a lot of musical theater type stuff. Annie, Get Your Gun, the original Rear Window, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Gunsmoke, Dick Van Dyke Show, Beverly Hillbillies, Paint Your Wagon. Sound familiar, good-looking people? Deep cut there. American Beauty, Diagnosis Murder, and a lot more. This was one of her last roles that she played in Hollywood. She sadly passed away in 2019. But she's really interested in George. She's going out for coffee and kind of laying down some hints that George should join her without really coming out and saying it. And George kind of wishes her well on her way. Eric is, he's holding the ladder for Alan. And she walks away, and Eric was picking up what Kathy was laying down, and I could not resist sharing how Eric.
Oh, yay.
Mr. Feeney, a hottie like Kathy Anderson asks you out and you just blow her off?
She asked me out?
She was practically throwing herself at you.
When?
I'm going to Starbucks. Also, alone.
I heard that. She wanted some coffee.
Yeah, with the side of you. She thinks you're cute.
Wait a minute. You think she wanted a date?
Ah, now you're getting it.
Why didn't I see that?
Well, Mr. Feeney, I'm in college. You're still in high school. Eric! What?
Oh, I love that moment so much.
That is one of my favorite moments in the episode.
Now, I will say, in Feeney's defense, we know he has game. We are very clear that he has game. I will say, though, I think Feeney is better at being a pursuer than he is being pursued.
Yes. Feeney has been married. We saw him in Boston. We have seen Feeney pursue. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he's very good at picking up on signals and being pursued.
Yeah, he's good about being kind and generous. I think if he thinks a woman is outside of his reach, he is much more respectful and willing to wait. And
he's very old school, very old fashioned. He comes from a time where a man would traditionally make the first move. Where he's not used to a woman being
forward,
shall we say, bold. A good word choice there. Bold and making a first move.
Yeah, I do think this fits with his character, and especially what we'll see of him next season as well.
Yes. Yeah. So let's go to the gym, which, by the way, the gym on the back wall of the gym for Corey and Sean. Have to say, I kind of like how dumb that is. Corey has no upper body strength. This barbell, those have got to be no more than 10-pound weights on each end, and the bar itself is. You think 25?
Yeah, based on the shaping of it.
Okay, 25.
But the bar itself is super light. There's no way it's more than like 65 pounds.
I was going 45 pounds at most for that bar.
All right, let's go fair 50 then.
Okay. So 50 weights, 45 for the... Yeah. So he's bench pressing maybe 90, 95 pounds. Corey's got no upper body strength.
No.
Neither does Sean, but they're pumping their iron, and we meet Sonia and Cookie. I only have information on Sonia because Cookie's really just an extra in the world of Hollywood. Sonia is played by Lexi Alexander. First and only time we'll see her on Boy Meets World, and this is one of 2 acting credits on her resume. The only other thing she was ever appeared in is Lifted in 2010. She actually has been much more active in directing and has helmed productions such as the movie Punisher Warzone, episodes of Arrow, Supergirl, How to Get Away with Murder, SWAT, and others.
Interesting.
Yes.
I will say that if Corey and Sean keep working their chest area and their arms, it does make sense that they would be struggling right now because their muscles would not be able to do a whole lot. There's a reason why you need to take a break and you have to do things like you have to work different things on different days.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do
That
chest
was a
one
good
day.
rep.
Yes, you can do arms one day, you can do legs one day, but if you do chest every single day, you're going to hurt yourself. Or arms every single day, which is probably what they're doing.
I think they're the type of guys that would skip leg day.
Of course they would.
Yes. But Corey's going to take a break and check in on the girls. Check up on the girls, I should say. Call the restaurant. The restaurant is closed, and we get an answering machine message that explains they're closed and that the staff has gone out to the boom boom room to dance. This is a horrible message, by the way, because it answers with, hello, this is Nunzio, not, you've reached Coyote. Our hours of operation are. This is a horrible message.
Yeah. It's a TV message, Brett. You know that.
It is, but even for TV messages, this is horrible. It's a restaurant. I mean, you start with, you've reached Coyote. Our hours of operation are 4 to 10 p.m. If it's after that, our staff are out at the boom boom room dancing. And they only list 4 staff members. This is why I talked about only being 4 staff members.
Well, I mean, they probably wouldn't consider the kitchen crew part of the staff members.
True. But this is also I think this is another underhanded dig by Nunzio because he knows Corey's going to call at some point to check up on them.
Yeah.
It's a jealous boyfriend.
And if your parents own a restaurant, Brett, would you not use that power for evil?
Oh, probably. Okay, evil me would. I probably wouldn't.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And then we get really, really ugly Corey by waiting for Topanga at her house and forbidding her to go dancing.
Yeah. I mean, again, if he communicated in this moment of, I'm upset that you keep going out with these people, even though I think I'm properly communicating that I don't like it. He's not doing that, though. He takes this moment to say, you're a bad person because you're doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And why do you keep doing this to me?
Yeah. This is the moment where that red flag guy on TikTok. This would be him running through the field with his big old red flag saying, this guy is trouble. Yeah, this is horrible. This is a horrible interaction, and I could not defend this interaction at all. I mean, I know it's coming from a place of hurt, but this is not a good moment. And Topanga's right to just go inside and say, I'm done tonight. So, yeah.
Yeah. Again, these are high schoolers.
Yes. They are. And I don't expect 100. I don't expect real maturity from them. I am happy when I see moments. I'm happy when I see glimpses. I expect some growth. I'm not surprised when I don't see. I'm not surprised when I see reversion to younger days. I would hope to see better than this after 5 years of the show being around, but this is a low moment for our Corey.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
It
get much
is.
lower than this.
Yeah.
It can, but it doesn't get much lower than this.
Oh boy, Brett.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to the gym where Sean and Corey are trying to figure the problem out. The girls want to dance more than anything in the world. We want to make them happy. There's got to be a simple solution to all of this. Even two 18-year-old teenagers got to be able to rub two brain cells together to figure that out.
You'd think so.
This is an underlying problem with the writing in this episode. They swing for the joke, and it's just ridiculous. Because the solution these guys come up with is, let's make the girlfriends jealous by inviting Sonia and Cookie to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Whereas Topanga and Angela discover it's like the boys are sharing one brain and there's not enough for one, because they were just about to give the boys some grace because they see they're having a real problem with it. They understand is really stressing them out, and they're about to give them a break and give them some grace. And here they come in with the ladies, and even Nunzio could not help them out with this.
I do love that. Even Nunzio cannot help
that was a fun line. And the guys seat the girls. When you're out with us, calories don't count. And Topanga finds out that Corey told Sonia that they could expect a romantic evening, and maybe I could get my green card. I'm pretty sure I said greeting card. Corey, like I said, it can't get much lower. Yeah, it can. It can. Corey just basically promised someone who's probably here on a temporary visa the possibility of a green card to go help make his girlfriend jealous, and lied to her about why he was doing that in the process.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Corey. Does not look good for Corey and Sean.
No, I really want to see what happened to Corey and Sean after we cut away from the restaurant when the ladies stand up very upset.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the girls that can bench press 300 pounds?
Yeah. Granted, I don't necessarily want to see violence in Boy Meets World, but I kind of want to see what happened to them. Did they run?
Mm-hmm.
Did someone have to step in from destroying the restaurant?
Bring me a cola.
Bring me a cola. I mean, I'm very interested in what happened.
Yeah. But we do get to the best scene in the whole episode, Brett.
Yes, this is. Eric and Jack are talking. We're in the Matthews side yard. Jack couldn't pick up on the simple signal that this girl he is talking to was looking for him to bring her chicken soup because she's sick. He went bowling instead. Mm-hmm. Eric is the smartest man out of all of these men. Alan gets basically... did Alan choose the satellite dish, or did he just need air during their discussion?
It feels like he's just trying to get away from his wife for a minute.
I kind of thought that too. Kathy asked Feeney what he thought of her poetry. He told her it's promising for a beginner, and she's been writing for 20 years. Eric is the smartest man out of all of these, because Sean and Corey come walking up, and in the midst of Eric being dumbed down, I am actually very glad to see that Eric is the smartest man in the room for a change.
Yep.
And we get to see Eric being the smartest man in the room, and I clipped this because I like seeing it.
Well, one thing's obvious. It's not us, it's them.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Maybe we should all just think a second.
No, Sean and I tried that. It doesn't work. Okay, I've been silent long enough. Guys, I've been working on a theory. Men are idiots. What? No, wait, there's more. All right, there it is. Men are big idiots. See that?
Wait, so what do we do?
You know, maybe we should just try listening to them.
That's crazy, Doug.
Maybe we should try Corey's thinking thing again.
Now, one of the reasons I like this episode, Brett, is because I do feel like the episode is pointing out the fact that all of these men, as much as we love them, as much as we care about them, can act with misogyny, can act with sexism, and can unintentionally be patriarchal. And it's a moment of they need to think about what they've done and how they have acted. Now, as we have talked about before, in a show that is 22 minutes long, is it really justified of the way that they try to make up for it? Not really. But I do think they're trying to point to the fact that they are potentially realizing through the faults of the other gentlemen there that maybe collectively they are the problem.
And there is something to be said for the grand gesture.
Yeah. I mean, making a fool of yourself for your other person is something that is a typical trope in a show like this. So
it is.
But yeah, I like that Eric says, maybe we should just listen. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why many of the women were cheering.
Yeah. I don't like that they all laugh at that idea, including Alan and Feeney, who have had successful marriages that have involved listening. I understand the joke behind it. I don't appreciate the joke. I understand the joke, but I don't appreciate those two characters being used as the joke because we've seen them. We've seen Alec. We've seen Alan being a successful listening husband, and I understand each one of these guys is faulty. They are human. We should see them as imperfect characters who can fall into that, just like you said. But I really don't like seeing Feeney laugh at that suggestion.
No, but again, it's the joke, Brad.
It's the joke. I understand the joke. But anyway, they think, and apparently it's a couple days later. We understand that from Topanga's line in the club. She's talking to Nunzio. Topanga's very sad. Nunzio is being very Nunzio. You're not enjoying Nunzio. Nunzio is enjoying Nunzio. They're in the boom boom room. And we start this I am sure runner. All the ladies are there. Topanga's there. Angela's there. Amy's there. Kathy's there. Each one of them says something about their husband and how they never be there, or they're not at the apartment, or I could never get George there. And Nunzio's there at that every one of those comments. Oh, yes, he would. Of this, I'm sure. Oh, yes, they would. Of this, I'm sure. Oh, they know you're there.
Of this, I am sure.
Yes, one of my favorite runners of all time in the show. And then all of a sudden, this happens.
Alan Matthews and Feeney the two that are most enjoyable to watch in this.
Yes, I was going to ask you which ones are your favorite. Those are mine.
Well, no offense
Alan
to the younger
because he
guys.
looks like he belongs there, and Feeney because it's just fun.
He is
the sassiness
so
as he does the turn.
committed. Like they are giving it their all.
Yes. Alan looks like he belongs there, and
the
Feeney
boys
is
look
just so
like they're
sassy.
very uncomfortable and they don't know if they're doing it right.
Jack's just there. Eric's having fun, but yes, Alan looks like he belongs there, and Feeney is just so committed and so genuine, and his sassiness was that turn is just the perfect gif. I've sent that gift to you many times, I think.
I believe so, yes. Well, I think this is also why I have a little more fondness of this episode than my wife does. Because there is something just enjoyable about the hot stuff dance and watching them embarrass themselves and, making it clear that Topanga and Corey really haven't been talking to each other and really communicating with each other. And Topanga just wanting something from Corey of him showing that I feel guilty. I feel bad for what occurred. This is my hopefully to make this better. So, and we know that Corey does not want to embarrass himself. We'll see this again next week, but Topanga is more important than his pride.
Yeah, and we find out in the tag that Corey was actually big enough to swallow his pride and ask Nunzio to teach him how to dance and teach all of them this dance routine. Yeah. And Alan apparently used the satellite dish to pick up some of his dance moves. Feeney, he doesn't have to read Kathy's latest poem. He already loves it. Yes, it's wonderful. I don't know, not the greatest way to start a relationship, but okay, it's nice. Jack dancing with Sonia, not his sick lady friend, but
not Lucy.
I guess it's a nice little way to make up to Sonia for using her as a prop to make Topanga mad. She gets to dance with a hottie like Jack. Eric's Lord of the Dance. But in all that, it is important to point out that Corey did swallow his pride and asked Nunzio for help.
Now, I will say, before we close out this episode, one thing I thought was really interesting is that when Topanga's talking about how sad she is, and Nunzio's saying, "This I'm sure," Angela's going, whatever, the boys acted this way. They get to deal with this. And not to say that that's the wrong way to go about it, but Angela has no problem with just cutting ties with Sean and saying, that's it. So it's very interesting the way that their relationships were playing out in this episode.
It is, yeah. Even early on, after we see that they both said that they're committed to trying to be deeper and committing to not just being the shallow 2 weeks. She's seen some of the ugly and is okay with saying, fine, I'm not gonna try and see how to make things work out. But yeah,
she's ready to cut and bail when she needs to.
Yep. So that is our episode of Last Tango in Philly. So Tyler, do you have some deep dives for us?
I do.
People. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
Ramona. Ramona is usually a feminine given name, the female form of Roman, Spanish, and Raymond, Old German, meaning wise protector. Today is used in Spain, Romania, the Republic of Moldova, Italy, and Portugal, and in some countries of Latin American in North America. It was made popular in the 19th century um, from the novel Romana and the series of Romana's children's books by Beverly Clearly. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. The name Ramona was a popular first name for women uh, in the 60s. So they mentioned Starbucks, Brett, because of the whole coffee thing. So I was curious on a little bit of the history of Starbucks. Apparently, the first store opened in 1971. Uh, looking for. Okay. In 1987. Um, yeah. Um, another company acquired Starbucks, the assets with the backing of local investors, and changed the name to Starbucks Corporation, opening in Chicago, first store outside of Vancouver, Canada. Apparently, in 1988, offer full health benefits eligible to full and part-time employees, include coverage for domestic partnership. Also in 1988, they had 33 stores. 1989, they had 55 stores. 1990, they had 84 stores. 1991, 116 stores. 1992 had 165 stores. Also, initial public offering, so they went public. In 1993, they had 272 stores. 1994, they started doing drive-throughs, but also had 425 stores. 1995, they had 677 stores. Oh, they started also serving frappuccinos around this time as well. 1996, they had 1,115 stores. I'll start bottling their frappuccino. Also opened a store in Japan. 1997, the year this episode came out, they had 104. They had 1,412 stores. Also opened up one in the Philippines. Also established the Starbucks Foundation. Interesting. Just out of curiosity, how many stores are open? Okay, so as of 2020, which is the last marking, they had over 32,660 stores.
It's actually a little lower than I expected.
An answering machine clearly answers the phone and you can leave a message. But it's used to answer telephone calls and recorded calling messages. When a telephone rings a set number of times, predetermined by the call's recipient, the answering machine will activate and play either a generic announcement or customized greeting by the receptionist or the random store manager. Unlike voicemail, an answering machine is placed at the user's premises alongside and incorporated within the user's landline telephone, and unlike operated messages, the caller does not talk to a human as a landline becomes less important due to the shift in cell phone technology at as um, unified communication evolve and the install base of the TAD is shrinking. Uh, most 20th century answering machine used magnetic recording, which Vladimir Polson invented in 1898. Creation of his first particular automatic answering machine for telephone, however, is in dispute. Starting in 1930s, Clarence Hickman worked for Bell Laboratories, where he developed methods of magnetic recording and working on the recognition of speech pattern and electromagnetic switching systems. In 1934, he developed a tape-based answering machine, which phone company AT&T has the owner of Bell Laboratories kept under wraps for years for fear of an answering machine would answer in fewer telephone calls. Tortilla chips, Brett. Something that was featured at the beginning of the episode because, again, this is a Mexican restaurant. Tortilla chip is a snack food made from corn tortilla, which are cut into triangles and then fried or baked. Alternatively, they may be pressed on a corn masa and then fried or baked. Corn tortillas are made in nixtamalized. Sure. Corn, vegetable oil, salt, and water. Although the first mass-produced commercial in U.S. is in Los Angeles in the mid 1940s, tortillas chips grew out of Mexican cuisine, where similar items were well known, such as uh, to- totopos and tostados. Cool. I will say one thing I do know is that salsa and chips are not as popular in Mexico as they are in the United States. You know, us just Americanizing foreign food.
I have heard that, yes.
Yeah.
I've been south of the border a couple of times, and I do not see that very much down there.
Oh, Brett, those are our deep dives.
All right. Well, let's take a minute and talk about what we learned.
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
Well, Tyler, what did you learn today?
Just checking on my Nielsen rating. What did I grade last episodes?
Last episode, you graded, let me see here. How to Succeed in Business. You gave it a C-.
Okay. Yeah, I would have to go with a C+ this episode.
Okay, but we're talking about your lesson you learned from Mr. Feeney from this episode. We're not grading yet.
Oh gosh, I'm so tired. Yeah,
I mean, if
what
you
I
didn't learn
learned is
anything, we can
that
jump to grades.
no, it's okay. It just hit me. Sorry. Yes. I would say that what I learned, Tyler, who's an adult, who's a dad, what I learned is that even men who have been married for a long time to their wives, and even men who have been with women for a long time, even they can miscue sometimes. And so, if you're not properly communicating to your significant other, to your spouse, or just to someone in general who you find attractive, unless you're communicating your intentions with them, how are they supposed to know?
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. My lesson was don't give in to jealousy and keep the avenues of conversation open in your relationship.
Nice.
Short, simple, and to the point. So,
Yes.
I'm right?
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
Tyler, tell us more about your grade.
I would give it a C plus, Brett, because it's
A
better
C
than
plus.
last episode, but it's not quite at the level of B tier. And I mean, really, it's the Eric storyline that carries the episode for me. Corey does not do a great job. So, but yeah, C plus.
Yeah, I really I really struggled with whether it was D or C quality for me. And the only reason I didn't stick it in the D tier is because I gave last episode a D plus. So this is a C minus for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
And just like with you, the Eric storyline and just Alan and Feeney being relatable is what saved it from being a D for me. So, before we get out of here, I owe you a dad joke or two.
You do.
I do. So, since this is our last October recording, I'll give you a couple of spooky ones here.
Ooh, hit me.
So, why don't werewolves ever know the time?
I don't know.
Because they're not wenwolves.
Very nice.
And one more. Do you know what I'm going to be next Halloween?
I don't, Brett. I don't.
Older.
Very nice.
Well, that is it for us this week, good-looking people. You can always find us online at our social media channels across Twitter/X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at dadsmeetworld. You can pick up some pretty nifty swag like this episode's gonna episode shirt on Steve the Skeleton behind me, or some other nifty stuff at dadsmeetworld.threadless.com. And you can email us at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. And you can leave us some reviews on wherever you find us, where you listen to us. And help other people find us. We love to share the dad love.
Yeah.
And we're about to get into the really deep Corey and Topanga stuff. So
yeah, let us know what
more
you think
people
of
love
us.
to
Give us
hear
a
it.
5-star review. Let us know what you think about what we dads are trying to do and accomplish in this little world.
That's
called
right.
Dad's Meet World.
Because we love to share the dad love.
Exactly.
Well, until next time, Tyler, I'll see you good looking.
Kitty kill.
Meow meow.
You know, how can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid? I want to be normal, Spud.
We are the Dimmers.
Topanga.
This is good TV.
Dads Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story. The women folk are not fans.
Apparently. Oh, I guess what I was looking at is not what I was looking at. So, all right. Deep dives.